Have you ever wondered what would happen if a group of aliens asked the one question that cuts straight to the heart of what makes us human? In a moment that would change the course of history, a delegation from a reptilian species known as the Zari landed on Earth with a burning question. Why did humans evolve without natural predators? They expected a simple answer that would confirm their theories of evolution, something that might calm their concerns. But what they uncovered was far from the story they anticipated. Let's step back in time and trace the journey of our species. A journey marked not by passive existence, but by relentless struggle and an insatiable hunger to overcome every obstacle. Long before modern technology and towering cities, our ancestors roamed a wild and dangerous Earth, where the balance of nature was maintained by fierce predators. Bears, wolves, big cats, and crocodiles roamed the land, each a formidable force in its own right. The early humans, however, were not content to simply live under the constant threat of these creatures. They learned to hunt, to craft tools, and to adapt in ways that changed the rules of the game entirely. These early humans soon discovered that the best way to face danger was not to hide or run, but to take the fight to it. They hunted down the beasts that threatened their survival, gradually diminishing the natural order that had kept them in check for so long. In doing so, they not only removed their external threats, but also set in motion a chain of events that would define their very nature. The truth is, humans always had predators. They were just not the ones we might think of today. The real predator, as it turns out, was staring right back at them in the mirror. As centuries passed, our ancestors encountered and overcame natural disasters, epidemics, and the occasional famine that tested their resilience. Every time a calamity struck, they found a way to not only survive, but to emerge stronger. With each trial, they honed their skills, sharpened their instincts, and became masters of adaptation. In a world where every day brought a new challenge, the struggle to survive was the ultimate teacher. This constant state of flux forged a species that was as cunning as it was tenacious. Yet, once the immediate threats from the wild began to fade, a new enemy emerged: each other. With nature's predators largely removed, humanity turned its gaze inward. Conflicts over resources, disputes over territory, and ideological differences quickly escalated into wars that shook the foundations of civilization. Instead of a peaceful coexistence, what we saw was a fierce competition for dominance, a drive that pushed humans to wage war not just against the environment, but against their own kind. This internal battle was a double-edged sword. On one side, it spurred incredible advancements, scientific discoveries, technological leaps, and the development of societies that could achieve feats previously thought impossible. On the other side, it led to centuries of strife, where brother fought against brother and entire cultures were reshaped by the fires of conflict. In this crucible of war and survival, humans learned an essential truth: they were their own worst enemies. They discovered that the fire of ambition could both forge and consume civilizations. Then came the day when humanity's restless spirit began to look beyond the confines of Earth. With internal battles raging on, a new frontier beckoned: the vast expanse of space. It was during this period of interstellar exploration that our aggressive nature caught the attention of the Galactic Concord, an alliance of alien civilizations determined to maintain order in the cosmos. The Concord observed humanity's rapid expansion and its history of conflict and saw something alarming in our past and present: an inherent need to dominate, to push boundaries, and to conquer any challenge, regardless of the cost. In their eyes, the absence of natural predators on Earth was not a sign of weakness, but rather a harbinger of far more dangerous quality. The Galactic Concord believed that if humans had mastered their own wild nature on Earth, they could easily extend that mastery to other worlds. In an effort to curb what they saw as a potential threat, the Concord made a fateful decision. They resolved to contain humanity before our aggressive tendencies could spread unchecked across the stars. A preemptive strike was planned, a move intended to neutralize our budding colonies and send a clear message: Earth was under control. This decision, however, would prove to be the greatest miscalculation the Concord ever made. When the attack came, it was not the quivering response of a subjugated species, but the full fury of a people who had spent millennia battling not just the forces of nature, but their own inner demons. The moment the first human colony was attacked, an unmistakable energy surged through our forces, a combination of raw passion, hard-won skill, and an unyielding desire to prevail. Humans fought with a ferocity that was as unexpected as it was unstoppable in the chaos that followed. Every human soldier, every fighter pilot, and every strategist embraced the spirit of defiance. The assault by the Galactic Concord was met with a determined counterattack. It was not just about defending our home or our colonies. It was about proving that we were more than the sum of our parts. Each setback only made us more resourceful. When we lost, we learned, adapted, and turned the enemy's own weapons against them. The war became a brutal dance of strategy and survival, with each side exchanging blows that left scars on planets and deep wounds in the fabric of the cosmos. One of the most unforgettable moments in this interstellar conflict came when the Zari homeworld itself fell. But this was not a conventional victory. There was no single, cataclysmic explosion or grand final battle. Instead, the defeat came through a series of small, almost imperceptible dismantlings, a systematic deconstruction of power and infrastructure. The Zari, who had once been so sure of their superiority, found themselves unraveling piece by piece. Their advanced technology, their strategic plans, and their once formidable unity crumbled under the relentless ingenuity and resilience of the human fighters. The downfall of the Zari was not just a military defeat. It was a profound reminder that strength does not come from external threats, but from the relentless drive within that in the midst of these turbulent events, a defining moment emerged that would encapsulate the very essence of what it means to be human. Amid the ruins of a shattered alliance, the captured Zari general, known as Vri, was brought before a human representative named Reynolds. In a tense and charged conversation, Vri demanded to know the secret behind humanity's unyielding spirit. His voice, tinged with both frustration and awe, asked the simple yet profound question: why do you fight like this? What makes you so unstoppable? Reynolds paused, looking directly into the eyes of his adversary, and spoke with a calm that belied the intensity of the moment. You thought we were dangerous because we lacked natural predators, he said slowly, emphasizing each word as if it were a revelation. But you were wrong. We didn't need them, because from the very beginning, we were our own predators. His words resonated deeply, a reflection of the centuries-long journey that had transformed humans from vulnerable beings into masters of their destiny. This final revelation carried with it an unspoken promise, a promise that the struggle was not merely about survival, but about the will to dominate and define one's own fate. Humanity's war was never solely a fight for existence. It was a pursuit of excellence, a desire to continually push the limits of what was possible. Every challenge, every battle, and every moment of hardship had forged a species that was uniquely unstoppable. The war against the Galactic Concord, and indeed the war against any force that sought to limit our potential, was a testament to the relentless spirit that had driven us from the dawn of time. Even as the dust settled on the battlefields of distant worlds, the truth remained that our story was far from over. The legacy of those early struggles against nature, against enemies, and against ourselves continued to shape our destiny. Humanity had always been defined by a willingness to take risks, to face down the impossible, and to turn every setback into an opportunity for growth. Our aggressive nature, once seen as a flaw, had become our greatest asset. For those of us who follow the threads of science fiction and look to the stars with wonder, this is more than just a tale of interstellar warfare. It is a narrative about what it means to be human. It is a reminder that the very challenges that once threatened our existence have been the catalyst for our greatest achievements. In every war fought, every innovation born from the ashes of defeat, and every battle won against overwhelming odds, there lies a simple truth: that our strength comes not from the absence of danger, but from our ability to harness it. When the Zari delegation first landed, they were expecting to find a species that had been tamed by nature, a species that had evolved under the careful watch of predators and the slow, steady march of evolution. Instead, what they found was a people who had chosen their own destiny. We did not wait for nature to decide our fate. We took control of it. We fought against the odds, turned our weaknesses into strengths, and showed the universe that we were not to be underestimated. This story, at its core, is about the power of determination and the unstoppable drive to overcome any obstacle. It is about how, even in the darkest of times, there is a spark of defiance that can ignite a revolution. For every moment of fear and every whisper of defeat, there is a louder cry of victory, a call to arms that has echoed through the ages and will continue to do so as long as there are those who dare to dream big and fight harder. In a world where the past is filled with battles and the future promises new challenges, the lesson is clear. True strength is born from the willingness to confront even our deepest fears. Humanity's evolution was never a gentle, quiet process. It was a roar of defiance against the forces that sought to keep us down. And in that roar, we found the courage to rise, to innovate, and to shape our own destiny. As we move forward into the vast unknown of space and time, let us carry this message with us. Let us remember that our history is not just a record of survival, but a chronicle of triumph, a saga of a species that turned every challenge into a stepping stone towards greatness. And while the scars of old battles may fade, the spirit of those who dared to defy the odds will live on in every step we take, every frontier we conquer, and every new world we embrace. The story of humanity is not one of weakness or vulnerability. It is a tale of fierce independence, relentless courage, and the enduring will to dominate our destiny. It is a story that inspires us to keep pushing, keep fighting, and keep believing in the power of our own potential. Every war, every conflict, every moment of struggle has only added to the strength that lies within us. And even as we face new challenges, one thing remains certain. Our drive to conquer, to explore, and to defy the odds will never be extinguished. As the echoes of the past remind us of our origins, they also serve as a beacon for the future. The Zari general's question may have been meant to uncover a weakness, but instead it revealed the heart of what makes us truly unique. It is not the absence of natural predators that defines us. It is our choice to fight, to adapt, and to always strive for more. We are our own masters, our own challengers, and in that truth lies our greatest strength. In the end, the tale of humanity is one of epic proportions, a saga of trials, tribulations, and triumphs that spans the very fabric of time and space. And while the battles we fight may be fierce and the challenges many, the spirit that fuels us is unbreakable. We have never been defined by the dangers that lurk in the wild. Instead, we have defined ourselves by the way we rise above them. And as long as that spirit burns bright, there will always be a story worth telling. A story of a people who dared to claim their place in the universe against all odds. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the heart of human history. A journey that reveals not just how we evolved, but why we continue to fight for our destiny. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the tales of triumph and struggle that continue to shape our ever-changing world.